Hello my dear students, welcome you all to Shri Jayendra Rank Zone classes. I am your mentor and your friend for the subject biology, and I will be taking care for the animal science, that is the zoology section. So my dear students, in the last lectures, in the last videos, we have completed the classification of phylum chordates. Especially we have divided phylum chordates into two categories. One is Acraniata. Acraniata means the protochordates, and the second is Craniata, that are known as euchordates. Okay, so these two classes you remember. Okay, the groups are Acraniata and Craniata. Acraniata, they are known as protochordates, and Craniata, they are known as euchordates, or mean actual they are the chordates, mean the true chordates or the higher chordates. Okay, so in Acraniata or the protochordates, we got to know about the lower chordates. We have learned about the features. Okay, those protochordates are further divided into two subphylums, and we are talking about the very first subphylum, that is Urochordata. Okay, so we are having two subphylums over here. The first one is Urochordata, also known as Tunicata. Okay, so this is the first subphylum. Of protochordates. Okay, so now we'll come up to the features. They live in marine water, that is salty water. They have free, they basically are formed in two categories or two life phases. One is the free swimming larva, and if the adult is there, then the adult remains attached to the rocks. Okay, so larva, they are free swimming, means the motile ones, and the adults, they are pedunculated. Okay, means they are attached to the rocks, sedentary, right? So second, notochord exists in the tadpole larva. Okay, so their life cycle, their lifespan is having a larva which looks like a tadpole. Okay, which looks like a tadpole, and that is why the larva is known as what? Tadpole larva, right? So notochord exists in the tadpole larva tail. Notochord only exists in the tadpole larva tail, and which reduces during metamorphosis. Okay, mean notochord is not present in any other part except the tadpole larva tail. Okay, chordate characters exist in the tadpole larva tail only. Chordate characters means the fundamental characters of chordates, we have remembered, mean the notochord, presence of dorsal nerve cord, presence of pharyngeal gill slits. Okay, so these are some chordate characters. Okay, dorsal nerve cord, ventral heart. Okay, so chordate characters, they exist in the tadpole larva tail only, which gives the name, okay, because of which the name is being given to this subphylum Urochordata. Okay, mean the chordate features are just in the terminal position of the body, that is the tail part. Okay, the notochord is present but in the tadpole larva tail. Okay, which reduces during metamorphosis. Metamorphosis means when it will convert into adult, the notochord will disappear, it will reduce. Okay, chordate characters exist only in the tadpole larva tail. That is why the name is given Urochordata or the tunicates. Tunicates, why? Because they are having a tough covering of tunin. Okay, tunicin. Adults, they have leathery test. Okay, leathery test means when they are having a leathery covering, a hard covering on the body, which is known as tunicin. Okay, tunicin. Combined premedical examination 2007, made of the tunic. Tunic is basically a kind of complex sugar or a polysaccharide, naming the group as tunicates. So they have very hard covering, and that is why they've been part of fossils as well. Okay, so adults, they have leathery covering all over the body, which is known as tunicin, okay, which is made up of tunic, that is like cellulose only, okay, and naming the group tunicates, right? Now, food is taken with the ciliary help, they are also ciliary feeders. Like we have learned about acraniata, the features of acraniata, ciliary feeders. Okay, so this ciliary feeders, they help actually, this feature is not yet evolved, okay. So it is also present in the primitive forms of, when we talk about, when we just started the phylum Chordata and we learned the differences between non-chordates and chordates. So they basically are ciliary feeders. Ciliary glandular slit. A glandular slit is present, a glandular pouch is present, which is having cilia. A glandular pouch is present, which is having a cilia, glandular pouch. Around the ventral surface of pharynx, okay. So just in the front of pharynx, there is a glandular slit, okay, a pouch, a pocket, which is having cilia, and this is known as what? Endostyle. This is known as what? Endostyle, okay. So a glandular slit means a kind of pocket is present having cilia, which is known as what? Endostyle, okay. The main work is to absorb iodine. This endostyle, see, when you compare yourself with this urochordates or tunicates, so just in front of pharynx you are having your gland. That gland is the thyroid gland, right? So they are also having a structure which behaves like a thyroid gland, known as endostyle. So endostyle, it can be considered as a prototype of thyroid gland, and the function is to absorb iodine from the salty water. As salty water, it is having good amount of salt, especially the iodine in the form of sodium iodide or sodium nitrite and sodium iodide mixture, okay. So endostyle is similar to the mammalian thyroid gland, I have already told you, okay, endostyle. Blood vascular system is of open type. Blood vascular system is of open type, no blood vessels. Heart is at ventral side, which actually matches with the character of fundamental character of chordates. Respiratory pigment is vanadium. Respiratory pigment is vanadium instead of hemoglobin in the blood, which is stored in the purple blood vessels or corpuscles, purple blood corpuscles, which is called vanidocytes, okay. So a respiratory pigment is vanadium, which is stored in the purple blood corpuscles. These are known as vanidocytes, okay. Before this category, when we talk about urochordates, before this category, vanadin, it is the respiratory pigment, but there were no vanidocytes, okay. There were no vanidocytes or the corpuscles, right? So this feature is evolved, understood? Now, in case of hemichordates also, we got to know about the respiratory pigment vanadium, okay, but there were no corpuscles, okay. And the heart in case of hemichordates is dorsal, and heart in case of urochordata, the heart in case of urochordata is ventral, okay. So these are the differences, okay. Now coming to next, excretion occurs through supranural gland, pyloric gland and nephrocytes, okay. So the excretion, it basically occurs through the I think it is a renal gland, okay, suprarenal gland, okay, suprarenal gland, please make a change, suprarenal gland, pyloric gland and nephrocytes, understood? So excretion, it occurs through suprarenal gland, pyloric gland and nephrocytes. Nephrocytes are just nephrons, like nephrons. Understood? Now, dorsal tubular nerve cord exists only in larval stage in the nervous system. The dorsal tubular nerve cord exists only in larval stage, okay. So the existence of dorsal tubular nerve cord only in the larval stage. Mean notochord was also in the larval stage. Dorsal tubular nerve cord is also in the larval stage in the nervous system. It means they are basically evolved, they are upgraded, and they are going to form the following changes which will lead to the formation of vertebrata. My dear students, please make a change over here because of slight confusion. I was like, it is a renal gland because it can be associated with the, the renal system or the nephrons, but exactly speaking it is supraneural gland only. Okay, so please make a change. The excretion occurs through supraneural gland, pyloric gland and nephrocytes. Dorsal tubular nerve cord, it exists only in the larval stage. Notochord was also in the larval stage only. Adults when matured, the nerve cord gets modified into neural ganglion. Okay, so adults when matured, the nerve cord gets modified into neural ganglion. Okay, so this nerve cord is going to form a neural ganglion, means collection of nerves. Okay, in case of adults, sexes are separate, obviously. There will be cross fertilization of the external fertilization. The external cross fertilization means the fertilization will be external and it will be cross because they are bisexual, right? A free swimming larval stage known as tadpole larva, and this tadpole larva is a remarkable feature of retrogressive metamorphosis. See, metamorphosis, it is of two types. One is progressive and one is retrogressive. Progressive metamorphosis, you all know, when larva it convert into pupa, pupa convert into adult in case of insects. Okay, in case of other metamorphosis, you got to know that larva will form a adult and the adult will be more complex. But here basically what is going to happen, in the larval tail the chordate features are present, but as the adult is formed, adult becomes less complex, okay, or undeveloped, or we can say the underdeveloped form. So that is why the adult is underdeveloped but the larvae, it is more developed. So this kind of metamorphosis, it basically help us to understand that, okay, here the metamorphosis or the advancements or the changes, they are basically degrading. Okay, means when the larvae is converting into adult, then the changes are degraded. Okay, I mean they are degrading. Okay, so these changes are known as what? Retrogressive. Okay, mean a less complex form, okay, which is a tadpole, is going to form another less complex form, another underdeveloped form, that is adult. Okay, so here tadpole becomes more complex in comparison to the adult. Okay, the form of the tadpole, it becomes more complex than the adult, and that is why the name is given retrogressive. Okay, retrogressive means it is going backward. Okay, because of evolution, always the changes, they are for the betterment of the species, but here the changes, they are against the developmental process, against the developmental line. Okay, they are bringing to them to the more previous stages. Okay, undeveloped form or underdeveloped form, right? The larval stage is more developed than adults. Only pharyngeal gill clefts chordate character is found in adults. So adults, they are having only one chordate character, that is pharyngeal gill clefts. Adults, they are having only one chordate character, that is pharyngeal gill cleft. Notochord is not present, only present in the larval tail, right? Dorsal tubular nerve cord is also present in the larval tail. So that is why the larva, it is considered to be more developed than the adult, and that is why we are using the term retrogressive metamorphosis. Okay, so this is the first slide regarding Urochordata or tunicata. Now moving to the next, there are some common examples. Herd mania, very important. Okay, herd mania, it is also known as sea potato. Please remember the name, sea potato. Okay, or sea squirts. Okay, so herd mania, it is also known as sea potato or sea squirts. Ascidia and Ascidia and Chiona. Pyrosoma, it is a bioluminescent Urochordata or tunicate. Okay, strongest, the light emit is the strongest among marine organisms. Doliolum, it is barrel shaped. Doliolum is, it is barrel shaped like this. It is barrel shaped, Doliolum. Okay. Oikopleura, it shows pseudomorphism. Pseudomorphism means a false morphology of body, a false form of body in which for a transition time to protect itself, body is covered by a blanket like a cover. The body, suppose this is the body, and it is covered by a blanket like a cover, which is basically having two openings, two gates at the back. Okay, so these are two gates at the back. Okay, so this is a blanket, suppose this is the blanket. Okay, body is covered with a blanket. Now what will happen whenever is required, the whole body can emerge out from this blanket. Okay, so a whole body can come out from this blanket whenever is required. Okay, I mean, for example, you just imagine that the dorsal portion of your body, which is having your spinal cord, the skin, it can, I mean, you can just tear apart the skin and the whole body can come out of that skin with a new skin. Okay, so it is like, you know, taking a form which exactly is not ecdysis, but it is a kind of pseudomorphism. Okay, a gelatinous sheet covers the animal, which has emergency back door for escaping. Okay, these are some common examples, especially the herd mania, sea squids or sea potato. Okay, Pyrosoma, which is bioluminescent, Doliolum, barrel shaped, and Oikopleura, which shows pseudomorphism. Okay, is that understood? Okay, now coming to next slide. Now we are going to talk about the second subphylum. The first subphylum is Urochordata or tunicata. The second subphylum is cephalohead. Chordata. Cephalochordata. Okay. Shallow, they are shallow sea water dwellers. Okay. It was not exactly mentioned for Urochordata or tunicata that they are going to basically present where. Okay. Shallow water or surface water. Okay. Or deep water. So cephalochordates, they are basically shallow or sea wet water dwellers. Okay. They live in shallow water, sea water. Burrows in the sand are made in which they grow, coming out only in night. Okay, they make burrows in the sand. Okay, fossorial types. Okay, and they come in the night only, means nocturnal. They are nocturnal. Body is laterally compressed, like in fishes. Body is laterally compressed. See, my dear students, I just want to bring a notice to you that the changes whatever you are meeting now, these changes are actually helping all these subphylums or subgroups to come into a better ones. Okay. For example, in Urochordates or tunicata, if the adult being more complex or more developed, then there will be the less chances for the adult to undergo the pathway of evolution. Okay, it will not evolve, it will not update if it is already become more complex. And that is why it becomes very necessary for all these organisms to limit their fundamental chordate characters and to replace the chordate characters with the vertebral characters, right? And that is why it is needed sometimes to go for retrogressive evolution. Okay, so now coming back to cephalochordates, body is laterally compressed. Okay, laterally compressed. Okay, to withstand the underwater pressure, to withstand the atmospheric pressure, and is segmented and is having segments. The body is laterally compressed and it is having segments. Body is divided into trunk and tail. Body is divided into trunk and tail without head. Without head. That's why I have mentioned upper cephalo. The body is divided into trunk and tail without head. No head. Appendages, paired appendages are replaced by unpaired fins. So in case of Urochordates, tunicates or previously, They were paired appendages, but now these paired appendages, they are replaced by unpaired fins. These unpaired fins, they are required for exactly the formation of fishes. Okay, that's why the paired appendages, they are replaced by unpaired fins, right? Alimentary canal is complete. Okay, understood. Buccal cavity has cover on all over the four sides. Buccal cavity, anterior, posterior, okay, superior, inferior. It is having four side cover, up, down, superior, inferior, dorsal, ventral. Ventral is also known as anterior, dorsal is also known as posterior. Okay. So the buccal cavity is covered on the four sides, which is known as what? Organ of Wheel, or wheel organ, or ciliated organ of Mueller. Okay, which is known as what? Ciliated organ of Mueller. Okay. So the body is basically covered by four sides. Okay, and this is known as what? Wheel organ or ciliated organ of Mueller. Okay, ciliated organ of Mueller. The organ ingests food. The organ basically helps to ingest food by producing circular currents. The organ basically produces circular currents in all the directions. It produces the vibrations in the water. Okay, these vibrations basically help to bring or increase the flow of food. Okay, and they capture the food like this. Okay, so alimentary canal is complete. Buccal cavity is covered on the four sides, and it is known as what? Organ of Wheel or organ of Mueller, ciliated organ of Mueller. It helps to ingest food through producing circular currents in water. They are also ciliary feeders. Okay, feeding on diatoms, diatomaceous earth. Okay, so they feed on ciliary, with the help of ciliary feeders, with the help of cilia, they feed on diatoms and microbes. Okay, circular system is of closed type. Okay, previously in Urochordata, Tunicata, circulatory system was open type. Here, circulatory system is of closed type, without heart. Without heart. You can compare the characters, right? See, heart is ventral side in case of Urochordata, but in case of here, no heart and there is no respiratory pigment, so there is no vanadium. Okay, no respiratory pigment, no heart, circulatory system is of closed type. Hepatic portal system is for excretion. Hepatic portal system is for excretion. Okay, the hepatic portal system helps in the process of excretion and osmoregulation. Then protonephridia. Okay, protonephridia. There in case of Urochordata or Tunicata, they were having the supraneural gland or the different types of I've just explained supraneural gland in which was for the excretion in case of tunicates or the Urochordata. In case of Cephalochordata, we are having protonephridia, which are present as flame cells and solenocytes. Flame cells or solenocytes. Okay, so protonephridia, which are present as a flame cells or solenocytes. Okay, H-Check's nephridium. H-Check nephridium is a name, specific name. It is a single nephridium which is present, which helps in excretion. Okay, just say in case of kidney, it is known as what? Nephron. Okay, or we can use the term Malpighian tubules or Malpighian body or Malpighian corpuscles or Bowman's capsule. In the same way, they are having H-Check nephridium. Okay, in case of Urochordata or Tunicata, that was known as nephrocytes. So Urochordates or Tunicates, they were having the supraneural gland or pyloric gland. Okay, and nephrocytes. They are having protonephridia, also known as flame cells or solenocytes, and they have a H-Check nephridium, a single nephridium in a single unit, which is known as what? Which is meant for excretion. Nervous system is in dorsal position. Okay, it's right. It is tubular and it is hollow. Nerve cord. Okay. Nervous system is in dorsal position. It is tubular and it is hollow nerve cord. Notochord and nerve cord extend from one end to the other end in the body. Notochord extends from one end to the other end in the body. Fundamental chordate characters persist throughout life, means not in case of tunicates or Urochordata, primitive chordata. Okay, now they are basically, they have fundamental characters which extend throughout the life. Okay, they are unisexual. Okay, so external fertilization, it's obvious if they are unisexual then they will show external fertilization. Development is indirect, mean larval stage is present, development is indirect, larval stage is present. Members of this group have developed to be the first complete chordate animals. Most important, first complete chordate animals. So it is like hemichordata, then in protochordates first is Urochordata and then comes Cephalochordata. So Cephalochordata, they become the first complete chordate animals as they have all the fundamental characters throughout life. Okay, like branchiostoma or amphioxus lens-slit, and also known as typical chordate, Okay, so if the question comes, who is or which of the following is considered as typical chordates? Protochordata, hemichordata, cephalochordata, then cephalochordata. Okay, so you have to remember from what you actually have to remember from this slide: shallow seawater dwellers, first thing; nocturnal, third; body is laterally compressed, look like fishes. Okay, and it is segmented; head is absent, body is divided into trunk and tail; paired appendages is replaced by unpaired fins. Okay, paired appendages is replaced by unpaired fins. Okay, one thing I just want to tell you, see, cephalochordata, the term cephalochordate means, cephalo means head and chordate means the presence of the notochord. So previously in Urochordata, the chordate characters, the notochord was present in the tail part of the tadpole. Here also head is absent, mean there is no distinct head, but now the notochord is going to extend towards head, and that is why the term is given cephalochordata. Okay, distinct head is absent, accepted, but cephalo means the notochord is having its two positions, one is cephalic and one is caudal. Okay, so the cephalic position will give rise to a head. Okay, in the coming generations, in the coming species. Okay, so the cephalochordata terms is basically given because of this reason. So paired appendages is replaced by unpaired fins, alimentary canal is complete, and the buccal cavity is having four side cover, which is known as what? Wheel organ or ciliated organ of Mueller, which helps in grasping the food by producing circular currents, right? Hepatic portal system is for excretion. Circulatory system is of closed type, but there is no heart and there is no vanadium, mean no respiratory pigment. Okay, protonephridia is present for osmoregulation. Hepatic portal system is for excretion and osmoregulation both. Basically hepatic portal system mainly for excretion, when osmoregulation is a function of protonephridia. Okay, they are present in protonephridia is also present in a form of either flame cells or in the form of solenocytes. Okay, H6 nephridium is one of the single nephridium which is given the name H6 nephridium, which helps in excretion. Nervous system is dorsal with dorsal hollow nerve cord. Notochord is present all over the body from anterior to posterior end, and they exist for whole of the lifespan, and that is why they are considered to be the true chordates or typical chordates or the first complete chordate animals. Okay, examples are branchiostoma and amphioxus. Understood? Now coming to next, the second category is, after discussing Acraniata containing protochordates. Okay, I'll write a short classification. Acraniata, it is group Acraniata, also known as protochordata. Subphylum Urochordata and Cephalochordata. Understood? written. Now the second is group Craniata, or Vertebrata. Okay, so Craniata or Vertebrata. Vertebrata is basically the subphylum. Okay, so it's good to write here Craniata, subphylum Vertebrata. They are known as Euchordata or higher chordates. And they are known as lower chordates. Right? Understood? Now, coming to Craniata or Vertebrata, I think this will help you to understand the classification. Okay. Now, coming to next, Craniata or Vertebrata, these animals are known as higher chordates, right? Due to the presence of highly developed advanced characters. Now, means the fundamental chordate characters, they are now going to develop to form the highly advanced or developed characters. Now, coming to next, these characters include prominent head, so head becomes distinct, vertebral column, jaws, cranium. So now they have cranium, now they have jaw, now they have vertebral column, now they have prominent head, and it includes only one subphylum, that is Vertebrata. Subphylum Vertebrata, notochord is completely or partially replaced by cartilaginous or bony vertebral column. Notochord is complete, either it is complete or partially replaced by cartilaginous or bony vertebral column. You have to remember cartilaginous or bony vertebral column. So in case of Craniata or Vertebrata, notochord is ya to it is completely absent, or either it is replaced by a cartilaginous or a bony vertebral column, right? Brain is covered by a protective covering. Brain is covered outside by a protective covering known as cranium, and this covering may have, or it is made up of either bones or either cartilage. Okay, so brain is covered by a protective covering which is made up of either bone or cartilage, and this covering is known as what? Cranium. Cranium, also known as brain box. Understood? Now next is the head is distinct, it is prominent, and a well developed and complicated brain. I mean, head is distinct, it is prominent, and it is having a well developed and complicated brain. Nerve cord remains enclosed. Within the vertebral column. Nerve cord remains enclosed within the vertebral column. So I will tell you the transition, what exactly taking place is. In case of Acraniata or protochordates, the nerve cord, it was not actually enclosed by notochord. It runs parallel with notochord. Okay, so I'll write in protochordates nerve cord runs parallel with notochord. Okay, but here the nerve cord is enclosed by the vertebral column, which is made up of either cartilage or bone. Okay, so these are some different features which help you to answer the differentiating and cruciating features of vertebrata and the chordata or the protochordates. Understood? Now coming to the next slide, the first part we are going to consider under the subphylum Vertebrata is Agnatha or Agnatha. Okay, it is Agnatha actually. Agnatha. Agnatha means jaw. Okay, so Agnatha means jaw, and Agnatha means they don't have jaw. Okay, they don't have jaw. So Agnatha is divided into two classes: ostracodermy and cyclostomata. Okay, so Agnatha is basically divided into two further parts. Further is ostracodermy and second is cyclostomata. Agnatha simply means jaw is absent. It includes ostracodermy and cyclostomata. Ostracodermy. The members of this class, ostracodermy is a class under the subphylum Vertebrata, which is further divided into ostracodermy or cyclostomata, right? So under this class, ostracodermy, what you have to remember that all the members, they are extinct. Okay, when they are extinct. The animals were freshwater fishes. Okay, they were only freshwater fishes, only freshwater fishes. Okay, which were first complete vertebrates. So first freshwater fishes and only freshwater fishes. Second, first complete vertebrates, and they have a hard protective covering made up of hard scales. They have a very hard protective covering which is made up of hard scales. Understood? So what you have to remember, ostracodermy. Dermy means skin. So these two words, ostra and dermy. Ostra basically refers to scales or plates, hard covering. Okay, so ostra means it is having plates or scales over the skin, and they give them rigidity, okay, support. So all members are extinct which belong to this class. The animals, they are only freshwater fishes, and they were the first complete vertebrates evolved. Okay, examples are Cephalespis. Okay, Cephalespis, it is primitive vertebrate of Ordovician period. Okay, Ordovician period. So Cephalespis is basically a primitive vertebrate of Ordovician period. Okay, am I clear? So basically we are having two types, in case of jawless fishes, okay, sorry, jawless vertebrates. Okay, one is ostracodermy and the second is cyclostomata, right? So all the members are extinct. They are freshwater fishes. They are first complete vertebrates, and they have hard scales. Okay. Cephalespis, it is the primitive vertebrate of Ordovician period. Okay. Now coming to next, here is a diagram which helps you understand the petromyzon and hexene. Petromyzon, and this is hagfish myxine. Okay, so petromyzon and myxine, you can see in this closet, the left side one, okay, where you can see the circular mouth. Okay, there is no jawbone, and it is basically having suckers. Okay, so it basically helps to suck the food. Is it understood? Okay, these are given. Okay, arrange in a rows. Understood? Now coming to next, cyclostomes or cyclostomata means the fishes are parasites, the fishes which are present under this category, cyclostomata. Okay, they are parasites and they are scavengers. Okay, means they are parasites and they are scavengers. They are jawless fishes, mean false fishes. Jaw is absent and that's why they are known as what? False fishes. They are parasites and scavengers, means they are basically feeding on plant and dead animals. Okay. Body is thin, long and tubular in shape with flat tail. Tail is flat. Tail is flat like this. Okay, tail is flat. Skin is soft, smooth and without scales, right? Previously, in case of ostracodermy, they were having hard scales, but right now the scales are absent. Mouth is round, sucker-like and capable of biting or eating. That's what I have shown in the previous figure. Mouth is round, sucker-like, you can see here, sucker-like mouth. Okay, mouth is round, sucker-like. Okay, suckers. Understood? Mouth is round, sucker-like and capable of biting and eating. Okay. 3 eyes. They have 3 eyes on the head. 1 median pineal eye along with 2 lateral eyes. Means, for example, if this is the middle position, so 1 eye here, 1 eye in the middle and 2 eyes in the lateral. Okay, so this is the median and these are the lateral. Okay, so these are the lateral eyes and this is the median eye. Understood? So they have 3 eyes, 1 is the middle, median and 2 in the lateral sides. They have gill cleft ranging from 16 to 15 pairs. Okay, so they have almost 16 to 15 pairs of gill clefts. Okay, digestive system lacks stomach. Very important point. They don't have stomach in their digestive system. Okay, notochord as well as vertebral column are present. Notochord as well as vertebral column are present. Both are present. Notochord as well as vertebral column are present. Okay. If the digestive system is not having stomach, how can we call it a complete digestive system? See, the completeness or incompleteness of alimentary canal or digestive system is based on the formation of mouth and anus from blastopore, right? It doesn't depend that whether it is having, the alimentary canal is having a particular organ or not. So that is why it is given digestive system, it lacks stomach, it is not having stomach, and the notochord and the vertebral column both are present. Cartilage forms the basis of vertebral column, means they have chondral. The word chondral means it refers to cartilage, and whenever I'll speak or pronounce osteo, so it means bone. Okay, so they have chondral, means cartilage based vertebral column. Okay, and cranium. Okay, so cranium is also chondrocranium. Chondrocranium means it is also made up of cartilage. They lack bones. Okay, they don't have bones. Okay, the bones are lacking. The cranium and the vertebral column, it is chondral, means cartilaginous. Heart is 2-chambered and it is venous heart. Venous heart, why? Because of the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So the heart is two chambered and it is known as what? Venous heart, because it is having two chambers, the oxygenated blood and the deoxygenated blood gets mixed to venous heart. Protonephric or mesonephric kidneys. The type of kidneys which are present are either protonephric or mesonephric. Okay. Before starting with the fishes, I'll tell you three things. Okay. One, the type of kidneys, means the protonephric, mesonephric and metanephric kidneys. Then the type of fins. Okay. And the most important, the types of metamorphosis. Okay. So please remember, we have to cover these three topics before we start with the fishes. So they have protonephric or mesonephric kidneys. Paired fins are absent. Fins are there, but paired fins are absent. Okay. Instead of it, dorsal median and tail fin is present. Okay. So paired fins are absent. Instead of these paired fins, a dorsal median and a tail fin is there. Okay. So they have dorsal median and a tail fin is present. Protocircle tail. Protocircle tail. Okay. So this protocircle tail is present, which is actually having extension of notochord at the terminal or at the end of the tail. Okay. Fin has two equal lobes, dorsal lobe and ventral lobe. Okay. So basically protocircle tail means the notochord extends to the end of the tail and then it gets bifurcated, means the tail fin gets bifurcated into two lobes, the dorsal lobe and the ventral lobe. Okay, like this. Sorry. Like this. Okay. So one is the dorsal and one is the ventral. Okay, this is dorsal. Okay. So protocircle tail is there, which is having the notochord extending to the end of the tail, and the tail fin is further divided into two lobes, the dorsal lobe and the ventral lobe. Unisexual animals, obviously unisexual animals, fertilization will be external, no larval stage. Please remember, no larval stage. Okay, no larval stage. Larva is present in the development of petromyzon. Larva is present in the development of petromyzon. Okay, petromyzon, basically it is the exception which is having larval stage of development, but the larvae is not, okay, except a monocyte. Okay, so larvae is present in the development of petromyzon. Petromyzon, it comes up in this category, cyclostomata, and they have exceptionally the larval stage of development, means the indirect development in the larval stage of development. Okay, except, but the larva is not aminocyte. Okay, larva is not aminocyte. Marine animals, means salty water living. Some migrate in fresh water for spawning. Okay, so some migrate to fresh water for spawning. After spawning, they die within few days. So petromyzon, it is basically an exception that it is having a larval development, but the larva is not aminocyte. They are marine animals. Okay, they are marine animals and they migrate in fresh water for spawning, and after that, after spawning, they die within few days. After metamorphosis, the larvae returns to the ocean. Means after achieving the developmental stage, okay, the larvae, they returns to the ocean, right? And for example, petromyzon or lamprey, they return to oceans. Petromyzon or lamprey, it is considered as a living fossil. It is a living fossil. It is a ectoparasite. It is a ectoparasite, means sanguivores, feed on blood, on true fishes. So basically it is a ectoparasite which feeds on true fishes. It sucks blood. Many teeth are present, are found in the mouth, and it shows anadromous migration. Anadromous migration. Anadromous migration means there are two types of migrations. I'll talk in the later class. There are two types of migrations, mean moving from freshwater to ocean or from ocean to freshwater. Okay. So after metamorphosis, the larvae returns to the ocean. Okay. Petromyzon, example Petromyzon or lamprey. So Petromyzon or lamprey, it is considered as a living fossil. Okay. So swanning they are going, swanning basically means, or spawning basically means to lay eggs. Okay. It is a procedure of laying eggs. Okay. So they need a particular environment for laying eggs. Okay. So swanning, they lay, with the swanning they help to lay eggs. Okay. And after swanning they die. Okay, within few days. Petromyzon or lamprey, it is considered to be an ectoparasite and a sanguivore, means it feeds on blood, on true fishes. There are many teeth which are arranged in several rows, okay, in the mouth, and it shows anadromous migration. It shows a particular migration that is known as what? Anadromous. Okay. The larvae of Petromyzon is basically the aminosetae. Okay. The larvae is present in the development of Petromyzon. Okay. And the larva name is aminosetae, right? The aminosetae larva, it migrates in fresh water for swanning. From marine, means it is marine animal, and from salty water it is migrating to fresh water. So this type of movement is known as what? Anadromous migration. Okay, from marine to fresh water for laying eggs. Understood? Now it's fine. Please remember, there is one confusion. This is except given for the Petromyzon, means except Petromyzon. Okay, except Petromyzon, there is, or they show basically, ठीक है ना, a direct development, mean without the formation of larvae. Okay, except this Petromyzon. Okay, understood? Now, larvae aminoseed, which is a larvae of Petromyzon, is considered as a connecting link between Cephalochordata and Cyclostomata. It is considered as a connecting link between Cephalochordata and Cyclostomata. Example, Maxine, hagfish. It has wrinkled lips. Lips are wrinkled, just like an old woman, and it usually remain attached with the gills of host. It usually remains attached to the gills of host. Okay. So I'll remember the points for you for Cyclostomata. Parasites, scavengers. Ectoparasites, you got to know that lamprey or Petromyzon is a ectoparasite. Okay, it is a living fossil which attaches to the true fishes and suck the bloods. Okay, so they are parasitic, they are scavengers. The jaws are absent. Okay, they have flat tail. The skin is soft and they don't have scales. The mouth is round, sucker-like, having eating and biting types. Okay, they have 3 eyes, one in the middle and 2 on the lateral sides, and they have gill clefts around 6 to 15 pairs. Digestive system is complete, but it lacks stomach. Notochord as well as the vertebral column is present. Cartilage forms the vertebral column and cranium, means it is the chondral based vertebral column and the chondral based cranium. Chondral means the cartilage. They don't have bones. Heart is 2 chambered, that is venous heart, means oxygenated and deoxygenated blood will be mixed. They have protonephric or mesonephric type of kidney. Paired fins are absent, and apart from paired fins, instead of paired fins, they have a dorsal median fin and a tail fin which is present. The tail fin is further divided into 2 lobes, the dorsal lobe and the ventral lobe. Post circle tail means the notochord extends to the end of the tail, and it helps to divide the tail fin into 2 parts, dorsal and ventral. They are unisexual. They show external fertilization. They don't have larval stage of development except Petromyzon. Petromyzon is having a aminosetae larva in its developmental stages, which shows ana or anadromous migration. Anadromous migration means from going from the salty water to fresh water to lay eggs. Okay. Larvae aminoseed is basically a connecting link between cephalochordata and cyclostomata. Cephalochordata and cyclostomata. Example, myxine or hagfish. Okay, it has wrinkled lips and just like an old woman, and it remains attached to the gills of the host. Okay, so is it clear? Cyclostomes or cyclostomata. These are the difference between Agnatha and Gnathostomata. Okay, so Agnatha means they don't have jaws. Gnathostomata means they have jaws. Okay, they lack jaws, and Gnathostomata, jaws circle the mouth. Notochord is cartilaginous. Vertebral column is completely developed. Paired appendages are present. Okay, fins or limbs. Paired limbs are absent. Okay, so paired limbs are absent because they are going to form vertebrates, and vertebrates, they may have limbs. Only one nostril is present, monorhinus. Paired nostrils are present, dirhinus. You can see yourself. Your nose is basically divided into with the help of nasal bridge into two parts. Okay, so two semicircular canals are found in internal ear, three semicircular canals are found in internal ear. Two lateral eyes on head along with one pineal eye in the middle. Pineal eye is absent, and only one pair of lenses are present. Okay, only one pair of lenses are present. So these are the differences between Agnatha and Gnathostomata. Agnatha means they don't have jaws. Gnathostomata means they have jaws. Okay, in Agnatha, it is the cartilage based vertebral column and the vertebrae. Okay, vertebral column and the cranium. In case of Gnathostomata, the vertebral column comes to be purely developed. Okay, in Agnatha, paired appendages are present, either fins or limbs, but in case of Cyclostomata, paired fins were absent. Okay, Gnathostomata, paired limbs are absent. Okay, paired limbs are absent. Limbs are present. Okay, in the when it directly converted into the vertebrates. Only one nostril is present. They have two nostrils. Sorry. Okay, two semicircular canals in case of Agnatha. Gnathostomata, three semicircular canals, and we have two eyes. Okay, they have two lateral eyes and one median eye. Okay, so I hope, is this clear? Agnatha and Gnathostomata. Now Gnathostomata we will be doing in the next class. Please go through the previous lectures. Okay, it will help you to understand the upcoming lectures as well. So till then, bye bye, take care, stay safe, stay at home.